Hey there, welcome to Violet's DIY Style. If this is your first time to my channel, I'm Violet and I hope you consider subscribing. So today's tutorial is one of many of the Valentine's DIYs that I'll be making this year. And we're going to make actually a really simple one today, but we're going to make 3 of them, which are these 3 adorable heart Valentine's garlands. And I'm actually putting them all together. But if you enjoy this tutorial, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up and share with friends and family. It'll truly help my channel grow. So the first one we're going to be making of these 3 garlands is the yarn one with the bubbled heart. So what you're going to need first is a cardboard box or even a poster board, anything that's kind of hard so you can draw out a heart or you can print out a heart. You know, go onto Google and just get a free printable heart and print it out the size you like and then trace it onto your cardboard if you don't feel comfortable drawing it freehand like I did. Once you've done that, whichever way you do, just go ahead and cut out that square. You're going to use that one heart as a template to start cutting the rest of the squares out for you to make sure that they're all the same size. Now you really don't necessarily have to make them all the same size. You can make some smaller or longer, but I kind of wanted to go with more or less the same size. They're not all exactly the same, the ones that I'm making, but more or less they are. So depending on your style, how you want to do it, you could do it either way. Once you've done cut the first one out, you can simply use that one as your template to trace out the heart onto each one of the squares that you cut out, and then you just cut out your heart. Again, you can make this as long as you want or as short as you like. I'm roughly gonna cut 5 of these hearts for the garland size that I'm going for. Once I've done cut all my hearts out, I grab the yarn that I want to use, and I'm using this white creamy color from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to start wrapping the yarn around my heart. So basically, just depending on what style or how thick of a bubble you want on your heart is how many times you're going to wrap your yarn around. If you want it more of a thinner style, then of course just wrap it around one time, but I wanted to go for more of that bubbled effect, so I kind of wrapped it around a few times. As you can see, you're just going to move your yarn from side to side. You can go up and down, and then you can go side to side, just trying to cover that entire heart up first, and then you can start repeating the same pattern or just continue repeating, covering, and wrapping your heart around to form that bubble in the center. So once you're done wrapping it around as many times as you like, depending again on what style you're going for, then all you're going to do is just simply cut off the rest of the yarn, and then you're going to tie a knot with those 2 pieces of yarn that are dangling, and that's the way it's going to stay secure. Now, I didn't add any hot glue, but if you don't feel comfortable just doing the double knot, of course you can add a little dot of glue right where you made that knot, and it'll stay more in place. But the double knots really do keep it nice and secure. This is going to be the back of your heart, and there you have it, and you can just kind of play with it and adjust it if you like. Then for my second heart, or the second pattern of hearts that I'm going to be using, I'm going to use jute twine. Now again, you can use a different color yarn, you can even use a different color jute twine. The possibilities are endless with these DIYs that I try to make and try to explain to you and talk to you while I'm making them, just to kind of give you different ideas that, you know, I'm making mine more of a farmhouse boho style, but you can easily make these into your glam style, even a Victorian with some Victorian lace around here instead of yarn. But there's quite a few different ways you can make these, but for me, what I'm using them for in which area of my home, I'm going more for that boho modern farmhouse style is what I kind of tend to gravitate towards. So these are the colors that I'm going to use for that area of my home for Valentine's. So I'm just going to continue wrapping the jute twine around until I'm happy. Then again, I'm going to repeat the process of just cutting that jute twine and then double knotting the 2 ends together in order for it to stay nice and secure. So once you're done wrapping your jute twine hearts around, these are the way that both are going to look. But what I did is I grabbed my lighter and I cleaned up my jute twine. I do this all the time when I use this kind of rope, just so it can look more cleaned up and not have all that little frill of the jute twine everywhere. It just looks more put together. So that's what I do. But if you don't mind or it doesn't bother you, you can easily skip this step. But again, this is just what I'm going for. So that's when you're done. This is the way it looks. And then I made 5. I made 3 of the yarn and 2 of the jute twine for the length that I'm going for. Depending on how far apart you want your hearts to be and how long of a garland you want is how many hearts you're going to make. So that's completely optional on how many you want to make. Once you're done, choose whatever yarn or jute twine that you want to make your garland with. And what I'm using is one of these ornament hooks that I had left over. I actually have quite a few of them, and I'm going to just leave them right next to my crafting table because I tend to use them for different reasons and different ways throughout the years. So one of them is to use them like a needle, just like this, to thread it through my heart. And this is, again, the back of my heart is where I'm threading it. Just wherever you knotted your 2 ropes together when we were making our hearts, that's going to be the back of your heart. So just go ahead and thread it through the top part of your heart in order for it to lay flat onto whatever surface you're going to use as garland. Once you cut off the rope size that you're going to use and you're going to make your garland, just go ahead and make a loop at the end of one side. And just make that loop as big as you like, depending on where you're going to hang it from and what kind of hook. And then just start threading your hearts through. Now, I'm kind of not going to space them out until I basically thread all of my hearts through. Then I'll start evenly spacing them out more than what normal. I'm just kind of eyeball it and kind of figure out where I want them. Once I do figure it out, then I'm just going to add a little dot of hot glue onto each end of where I thread my rope or jute twine through the heart in order for it to stay in place. And then I do that just to the ones in the middle. I really don't do it to the first one nor the last one because I tend to make a knot. But again, you can add glue to all of them. It's just up to you how comfortable you feel with them just there, or again, you can knot them through on each end of the heart for it to stay in place. So again, go through the back of your heart and then just use the hook to thread your rope through the back of your heart on the top part, and then just space them out whichever the length that you want to space them between, and then you're just going to add your glue to the hearts in order for it to stay in place. And continue the same process until you're done with all the hearts that you've made to finish up your garland. You guys let me know in the comments below, what style are you going to go for Valentine's? Are you going to use more the modern farmhouse style, kind of what I'm doing, or are you going for the glam style? I'll be making sure to do a few DIYs, not just a farmhouse style, but also glam. And I am thinking of making some more modern style. I know you guys really liked the modern Christmas decor DIYs that I did make this year, so I'm thinking of making some for Christmas just to show you and play and share with you the different ways you can make all of these projects. So once you're done adding again all your hearts, you can just go ahead and remove the hook from the end of your rope, and then you're just going to fold it in half is what I do in order to make sure that I have the same length at the end to form that loop. And that way you can make sure that your one heart is in the center and you have the even spaced out everywhere else. And there you have it, your first garland. Now, your second garland, I was super excited to find this faux leather ribbon at Dollar Tree, and they have quite a few different colors. They have this caramel color, then they have a dark espresso color, and they have a lighter like a tan color. And those were the only 3 colors that I saw, so I grabbed one of each because that's all they had. But I am really excited to use this leather. They've never had it before, at least not in the area where I live at, so I was really excited to be able to use this. So of course I wanted to use it right away, so I thought about making a different garland. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting, depending on how many hearts you want to make, you just cut the strips about 8 to 10 inches in length, then fold it in half, add some glue and pinch it. And that's going to be the bottom of your heart of each one of these ribbons. Then you're going to open it up, and as you can see, it stays together because of that glue. Then you're going to form your heart on the top part, just like this. And then you're going to kind of open it up, and you're going to add just a line of glue right at one end of this leather, and you're going to fold it again back down to form your heart. And just pinch it there until it's nice and dry, and it stays where it's supposed to be in place, and there's your heart. Really easy. So just make as many as you want, depending on how many you want on your garland. So again, just fold that ribbon in half. Where that half is at, you're going to add a line of glue, not too much, and then you're going to fold it back down, pinch it in order for it to glue together to form that small point from your heart. Then you're going to roll it both ends inwards to form the heart, the top part. Add your glue, and then there you go, pinch it, and you have your heart. So just continue doing the same process with each one of these ribbons. Again, you can make them, I would say 6 to 8 inches in length, or even 10 would be the longest I would make, without it needing wiring or anything to make these hearts. So just add that strip of glue at the bottom, and then another strip of glue at the top, and fold it together to form your 2 points or curves for your heart. There's so many things you can make with this faux leather. Let me know in the comments below if you found these leather ribbons at your local Dollar Tree, and what plans are you having to use them with. You know, what kind of DIYs are you thinking of doing? I know I have quite a few of them already thought about that I'm going to use mine with, but hopefully I can find more, because I do have a few other projects that I want to make, but I know I'll need more than just one roll of ribbon for them. So hopefully I'll be able to find them. But let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas that you're going to use this leather with or for in your projects. So for the ribbon, the leather ribbon hearts, what I'm going to use is this vintage ribbon. And then all I did, instead of just making a simple knot with the ribbon, which you can do, I just wrapped some jute twine around that loop in order just to give it a different look on each end. So just grab some jute twine and wrap it around the loop at the top of each end, and then knot it kind of to form, I would say, like a tassel style. Then just insert your hearts, making sure they're all the same, you know, threaded in through the rope or ribbon the same way. So once you're done threading all your hearts, kind of evenly space them out. And as you can see, I folded my ribbon or my garland into half, just so I can kind of play with them. And once I figured out where I wanted to place them, I added a dot of glue onto the ribbon, and then I glued it onto the top part of my heart. That way it'll stay in place, and it'll it won't fold. The hearts won't fold sideways or anything like that. I wanted them to stay a certain way, so this is the way they're gonna help me for it to stay the way I want them, so the hearts can dangle down and not you know, evenly be spaced out. So just add a little dot of glue wherever you want your ribbon to stay, and there you have it. That's your second garland. This is so adorable. I absolutely love this one. Now for our third one, it's pretty simple. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make some tassels. Again, you can make as many as you like. I'm simply just making 3 tassels. And all I'm going to do is just use a cardboard box or a little square that I have, and then just wrap my yarn around it about 15 times. Just depends on how thick you want your tassel. And you see me make tassels on my channel plenty of times, so I'm just going to kind of run through it real quick. You just wrap it around your box or any kind of square that you're going to use. Then you're going to grab another piece of yarn and make the top part of your tassel. Then get another piece of yarn and you're going to make the what I call the eye of the tassel. So just grab it and then kind of figure out where you want or how big of a top part or the head or eye of your tassel, and then you're just going to wrap that extra yarn around it and then tie a knot. Once you're done tying that knot, then you're just going to go ahead and run your scissors through the bottom to evenly space everything out and cut everything at the bottom to form the tassel. And what I decided to do on the top of this tassel was just add an extra bead just to give it more of that different style, like the farmhouse boho style that I was going for, but you don't have to add that bead. And for all three of my garlands, I'm kind of working with the same color tones, which are my tans and whites. But you can easily change this to red yarn, green yarn, pink yarn. So you can use any color of yarn depending on whatever style you're going to go for Valentine's. So here is your tassel, and again, just make as many as you want. I just made 3 of them. Then I had some of these blocks with little letters from a game. I think it was a Jenga Scrabble game. But I usually find those at, thrift stores or what have you, and I keep them just for different projects. So what I did was just get some more of the jute twine to make my garland. And then I'm going to tie a loop at the end, and then I'm just going to kind of evenly space out my tassels, and my X and O is what I'm going to put on here of the Scrabble squares. Now, if you don't have Scrabble squares, you can easily use like your building blocks, put 2 of them together to form one square, and then easily print out or use a sticker for the X and the O, or even just use a permanent marker to write on them. So there's different ways you can do this if you don't have the Scrabble box or blocks, I'm sorry. So this is really easy one. All I'm going to do is just, again, evenly divide my tassels. Then I'm going to put an X and O in between 2 of the tassels. And all I did was add a line of glue at the top of my X and a line of glue at the top of my O, and then glue them to the garland part or the rope part of my garland. I know Christmas isn't quite here yet, but I just start making my DIYs a little bit early. That way, when I do start putting everything back from Christmas, I'll already have some of my DIYs ready for Valentine's. And plus, I was super excited to use that faux leather, so I couldn't wait any longer to make those hearts. That was the first thing I had thought about making with that leather. So I hope you guys do enjoy this tutorial. Again, if you did, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel, and share with friends and family. So this is the way they all look completed, all 3 of them together. Let me know if you'll be making all 3 or just one. Until next time, you guys stay blessed. Bye.